Hey, it's your boys back here for episode 137 today. And what we'd be looking to do is like doing a little bit of a quick recap because we're going to double up today. Back to back work. But how you fellas?
Good.
I'm okay.
Do you care to elaborate? No.
No? It's all right. So let's just get straight into it. So we're going to recap performances by a fair few Australian combat sports athletes that happened from this weekend and a little bit earlier during the week as well. So let's just start with like one championship happened last night in Singapore. One of our previous guests on it, Josh Tonna, winning a world title fight against living legend in Sam A. Hugh, you want to recap how the action went down?
Yeah. Tough night in the office for the time bomb. It's not too much to say really. Like I stayed up to watch this morning, and like I haven't been back and sort of watched it closely. I wasn't watching it on repeat. First round you could see kind of what the plan was from Josh. He was trying to put Sam A on the back foot, putting a bit of pressure in. Not like you could see from Josh's side, he was kind of just steadily warming into it as well. Like he wasn't throwing everything at 100% and he was landing some reasonably good shots on Sam A. Like he put a couple of kicks across Sam A's guard. Landed a pretty nice left hook around Sam A's lead side, but you see Sam A was pretty content to just sort of sit back that first round. But yeah, I thought it was a good start for Josh, and then Sam A obviously started to let that kick go a little bit at the end of the first round. It was shaping up pretty interesting. Kind of the fight we somewhat predicted, like Josh putting the pressure on and Sam trying to keep things at kick's length and trying to stick that left kick kind of over the top of Josh's guard. Then second round, yeah, Sam A just came out absolutely firing it. It's sort of started to take a turn when Sam A just landed a sweet left hand. I think that was kind of the first damaging shot of the fight. And then like the first knockdown, I wasn't sure if Josh was going to get up. He was definitely still conscious, but you could see like because he went kind of flat from that first left hand, and then it got a little bit and it got up as he always does. And then it got a little bit strange. Like Sam A hit a pretty nice sweep. It was a nice sweep, but then there was a count, which I didn't understand because it was just a sweep. Like Josh was still somewhat staggered from the left hand, but I didn't understand the referee counting off of a sweep, and I also didn't my issue with this was the referee counted a sweep, which obviously you don't do, but also that the ref didn't seem sure what he was going to do. Like.
Yeah, like the ref took at least about 10 seconds himself just to kind of looking back and forth like he was like, I don't know, looking as maybe an official across the cage going, am I counting this or what's the deal? Am I stopping this? And then he eventually just kind of goes, I guess I'll count. And you saw Tonna as well go, well, why am I going to count it for?
Because there's no crowd, you could hear Kieran in the corner as well. It's the weirdest thing about there being no.
As a layperson, I watched it like a leg sweep.
Oh no, there's no doubt that it was a sweep. It was just the confusion is that why he counted, and it's hard at the moment. It's hard in this way, like for us as viewers, when like I doubt the referee spoke English, so we can't get some clarification on that. Like I don't know if it was just a matter of it was a sweep, and then the ref kind of assessed Josh and thought he was still
a bit out of it,
dazed,
trying to protect him a bit.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's really important in a fight with a 3 knockdown rule.
Yeah.
Because then Josh obviously got dropped again after that, and then there was no real argument from their side. Josh had obviously taken some pretty damaging shots, but just credit to Sam A. He is a legend, and still firing at 36 years old and 400 fights.
That's a grandpa in Muay Thai age.
Oh yeah, I mean like that's even for any combat sport. 36 is like it's on the tail end for the most part. But like for someone like Sam A that's had a number of fights, and like Sam A's sort of stadium prime was years and years ago now. Like his longevity in the sport, 400 fights. Like I just don't think like to watch this. Josh, like a really good, strong Australian fighter. It just reminds you that there's not a lot of sports in the world that have the this situation that Muay Thai has, where you've just got one country of people that are just
So dominant.
it's just their own breed of athlete. Like it's unbelievable, and you just got to see it. And credit to like watching Josh fight Sam A. It just reminds me so much. Like I think it's important to say, like I fight Muay Thai, right? But like for the most part here, like I talk about Muay Thai. Like I don't understand what someone like Josh Tonna, and I would never pretend to understand what it's like for someone like Josh Tonna to get in there and fight a legend like Sam A, because it's just like you've got to see it play out to really remember what the challenge of getting up to fight someone like Sam A is. And I think like for us watching this, it's not just like, we're really pulling for Josh here, obviously.
Of course.
He's our countryman and our friend, but I think looking at the response to this fight, I think everyone's kind of got it right. Like no one really had a bad word to say about Josh. Everyone kind of understands what. I think like because for me, I was buzzing for this fight like after talking to Josh and Kieran, the other week, because you really felt like Josh. I think a lot of the time, and this is what made it so tough, is I think a lot of the time when you watch someone fight someone like Sam A's status, you can kind of tell they're just sort of in there to share the ring with them, and they're not really backing themselves. They're just kind of that they're already kind of crediting themselves just for being in there, and they're just seeing what's going to happen. I see this a lot, but Josh was definitely there to win, and that's why it was kind of hard to watch it go down the way.
Oh yeah, and it's like especially when you're saying like in terms of moments, like Josh handled the moment really good. Like I can't remember someone like in our realm that got so much backing by a whole country behind him against, and really like at the top of the stage there, fighting a living legend in Sam A, and like earning his way to the top there. So it's not like they just picked him at random. He was number one contender. He earned that spot. So yeah, and like how he approached the fight, like you could see where he wanted to go from that. But Sam A just really good at keeping it at the ranges he wanted to do and how he wanted to dictate it. But like Josh himself, like didn't falter at the moment. He fought. He was there to win.
Yeah, 100%. And like I think kind of the response from the community in this definitely shows like we're moving the right way in the people that we're supporting and getting behind. Because you look at why people back Josh, is because he's a fighter's fighter. He's like they always say on the commentary, like he's a battler. Like he just gets stuck in and like he's never been handed anything. Like talking to them and hearing the story of how like he got his one contract because he emailed them saying like, I just want one fight and I'll pay my own fucking way. Like he really just wanted to be there to have a crack, and obviously had that tough one against Pet Dum to start and put this run together that he's been on. So like he had achieved something just by getting in there, which is it's kind of, I guess, it's difficult to hear as a fighter off of a bad one, but he definitely is an achievement just to sort of be where he was. And one championship, like the Super Series thing, that's like the real generational shake-up from Muay Thai. Like this is the big thing, and every generation, every time you get like a shift towards something new in the sport, all the kind of generations of young fighters will point to the people who kind of blaze the trail. And you talk about a fucking trailblazer, you talk about Josh Tonna. Like if you got anything but positive things to say about Josh Tonna, like you don't have your fucking head screwed on, right? Like there's just I think most people get it. Like I haven't seen a lot of, most of what I've seen is people just commending Josh for the run that he went on before. Because it's not just about this moment, right? Like it's the run that he went on. Like he is a rocky story in Muay Thai to get here. And I think far and away he's achieved legend status in Australian Muay Thai. I think he's a legend of Oz Muay Thai, a massive inspiration to young fighters. And he's in there blazing the fucking trail. That's what I think about that. If you think anything else, you're wrong. So
yeah, so it's like that if you had a like Hall of Fame, you got the modern wing. Josh Tonna is definitely one of the first inductees.
Yeah, and when I was talking to them last week, and I hear Josh, like that's one of the things I really love. Like I really, really, really respect Josh a lot. Like he's someone like when I watch Josh and Kieran as well, when I see them walking out in one, like I feel proud to know these guys. Like I really feel like I really get invested in watching Josh fight. And when I was listening to Josh talk about getting so nervous to speak to Daddy Cool when he was coming up and how much he sort of idolised John Wayne Parr, like I hope Josh Tonna understands that to young fighters today. He is that.
Yeah,
he has that daddy
definitely.
cool John Wayne pass status 100%, like a trailblazer.
And as well, like, you know, like if you ever see Josh Tonna and things like that, he's more than willing to have a chat with you.
Nicest person of all time.
Yeah, he's very approachable.
Yeah, like seriously, the kind of like he's what you need in a combat sport and a martial art as well. Like if you had sort of someone that you know a kid getting into the sport could look up to, like that's Josh Tonna. So yeah, hats off to Josh Tonna, a legend of Muay Thai, legend of a bloke. And if you got anything but good things to say about Josh Tonna, it says more about you than it says about him.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Didn't have my sample queued up there. But going from one like modern legend to another, like let's go to jiu-jitsu and an Australian that's made the commitments and the sacrifices to get himself to the top is Craig Jones. Like basically during this whole COVID time moved, like, you know, went to New York and then decided, goes, you know what, I'm staying here to keep training in the blue basement with Danaher and everything. So he can just keep on, I guess, getting a paycheck, keep, you know, his career rolling forward as well. So just recently there was an event, it's a newish event, isn't it? WNO?
Yeah, who's number one?
Ah,
Yeah, it started
I like
in February.
The jiu-jitsu events, I got the little catchy little brand namings there.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to match people up who are like more or less number one in their respective divisions or rankings or something similar along those lines. But it was pretty good. That's the first one I've watched from beginning to end, and it was quite enjoyable. I liked it. So yeah, it's submission grappling, but it does go to a judge's decision at the end of a match if there's no outcome. Unlike others, like the quintet format, where the rounds are only 5 minutes long, so it's a much faster pace. Even if there's no submissions and they get eliminated and draw, they're still good fights to watch. This one, because they're like 15-minute matches and 30 minutes for the Gordon Ryan, Matthias Dinas a match, they can be more drawn out, but because they're there to win and they have something to, I guess, something to prove. I mean, you'll see a lot more technical matches, but some good submissions still. They still go in for the kill, which is what Craig Jones did. Some of those leg entries he had.
Well, it's like, yeah, especially with Craig Jones style, like he doesn't play too much of a feel like game. He just goes, I know where I want to go.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, if you think you can match me on it, let's do it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, and he finished it in 5 minutes, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and he had like three leg entry attempts from seated guard, as they do. So most of the top guys from Death Squad were there. They had Nicky Ryan, they had Gordon Ryan, obviously, and Craig Jones, and they all finished with heel hook, all of them from the inside. But it was good to watch. I mean, the guy he was I've forgotten his name. What was it?
Roberto Jimenez.
Roberto Jimenez,
from
yeah.
Ecuador.
Yeah.
A young fella as well, 20 years old.
Yeah. I think he won something on West Coast grappling. But like he's won some big events.
I think, or like the WNO, they do some sort of rankings. I don't know if it's based on ADCC or I don't know how they do their rankings, but they said he was number 4, I think, and they said Craig Jones was number 5.
Yeah.
In that kind of like 88 kilo class. But you saw the weight Craig Jones was 200 pounds and like Roberto was like about 180.
Something like that. He did look smaller. I mean, I remember I saw in the interview Craig Jones said, "Oh yeah, I wanted to compete with him and get to him before he gets good enough to take me out." So yeah, it was a good match. It was good to watch. Nicky Ryan, he went against an NCAA wrestler. I've just forgotten his name. I've only watched all these things once, so I should take notes as I watch them. But then I just like want to watch the match. So, but yeah, I mean, it was that classic wrestler versus jiu-jitsu grappler kind of match. But he just got underneath him, seated guard position, hooks in, leg entries, normal game for Danaher.
Yeah.
The Death Squad, and grabs him on a heel hook. And that's how Gordon Ryan won his too against Dinas. So, but that was more like that was a 30-minute match, and there's a weight difference. It does make a difference. Ryan, he took out the gold at ADCC in under 99 kilo, and Diniz was under 88 kilo division. So they're both gold medalists respectively. But respect to Gordon Ryan, he thanked Matthias for taking the match because no one wants to fight him. And he was like, I'll do it. And he stepped up and did it. And it would have been a challenge for him. It's a challenge for anyone going against Gordon Ryan. But it was good. It was good to see. And the way he finished Jimenez as well was like very gentlemanly. I thought it was like a gentleman. I've got you on a heel hook. I'm going to let you decide when you want to tap. That's what it looked like to me. And Jimenez just like gingerly tapped out of it, and it was over. Whereas there's plenty of other competitors like Josimar Polaris. He just would have torn the knee in half and waved it above his head. Banged his chest in victory.
Well, it seemed like a lot of that match was like contested in the mount position with Gordon Ryan staying in mount, just kind of keep looking like he was trying to get Americana in that, but more so I think just trying to just cook Jimenez.
Yeah, I think Jimenez he escaped a Kimura attempt, and I know there was another attempt from Gordon with the head arm choke, and he got out of that as well. So his defenses were really good. Some good scrambles. Gordon Ryan on top of you in mount, that's a nightmare for anyone, and he was struggling with that. He was struggling to get out of that mount position. He did it eventually. The other thing good, I like the commentary. Jean-Jay Ribeiro did the commentary.
Oh yeah, I heard a bit of that. I thought it was him. It's pretty good.
Oh, I liked it. I mean, obviously he's been practicing. He's done a few. I think he did some commentary at ADCC, and he's like heaps better since then too, because he's got so much technical knowledge.
And it's like technical knowledge, but doesn't rush it and doesn't try and tell a story and
that's right.
Continue for the story, like doing
he doesn't ramble
like a Goldberg or
something
like that.
Yeah, he's not a color commentator. He's a technical commentator, and it was good to listen to because you know exactly what's going on, and he's explaining things, even from a more of a layperson point of view. He's explaining things as well. And he was making some points about how Magius could have escaped from mount and this kind of stuff. And I thought, that's actually pretty good to hear. I liked it. It makes it accessible to everyone. But it was a good event. Who was that? It was Paul Amiel versus Gio Martinez. That ended in a judge's decision to Martinez, but it was pretty close. And that was like a technical battle, 15 minutes of technical battle. You might not enjoy it that much, because there's no finish at the end of it. But if you want to see some really good technical no-gi jiu-jitsu, that's a good one to watch as well.
Cool. Sounds like a good event. So let's travel back over to one championship again. So because there was another Australian on there, probably got eclipsed a little bit by Josh Tonna as well. In terms of Josh had a big moment for that one, but also because in MMA, maybe we just don't follow in MMA circles either, because I just didn't hear much of it. But Reece McLaren, he also fought on one championship because Tonna was the only Muay Thai event, and the rest of it was MMA fights. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, because I guess it's in Singapore. That's what you do in Singapore, especially with one. But yeah, he picked up a good win against Alexsi Toivonen, who fights out of Evolve MMA in Singapore there. And Reece McLaren, it's a good guy, a guy that you should follow as well, especially if you're Australian, you like combat sports. And hey, if you like watching UFC, you should be following your boy Reece on one, because he's fought some he's fought some people. He had a very close decision with Bibiano Fernandez, lost to Kevin Bellingong. But he's on a 2-fight win streak in the moment, and he also had a fight with Denny Kingang in a pretty controversial split decision on there. And going into this fight, the commentators were saying he couldn't really grapple because of restrictions or something like that, or maybe that's what the gym's doing up there. But he said he focused mainly on his striking, and just came out on this one just trying to find I didn't mind him trying to find the range. He was stinging the right hand pretty nicely. That was the main thing I saw. Alexis was trying to always kind of exit off on the turn on the left hand side, but in doing so, kind of showing the side of his face a little bit, and McLaren was just pinging it, and he pinged some good ones and really wobbled Alexi halfway through the round. Then he tried to finish him a bit, but then he just sat back and goes, all right, let's come back down and find the range again. There, they ended up in trying to go for the takedown, shoot a little bit of scramble, end up in the clinch, and then this kind of just popped this sweet knee right across his body. It's so some people said that he's I think it was a groin shot, but you look at it, it actually slid across because it looked like it was going to go into the left side of Alex's body, but it actually went over to the right side, and that's where your liver lives. It lives on the right side of your body. You could see it just kind of just dig right through and just bent him in half.
Yeah.
As soon as he hit the ground there, like ref goes, I think he's done now.
Oh, but he didn't stop it as a groin shot.
Nah. No, I didn't think it was a groin shot. Like I looked at it because like how he went down, like okay, God, it's like I thought it was a groin shot, but then like looking at it, the replays a little bit, oh no, that's just a clean liver to the knee.
Yeah, I saw the complaints that it was a groin shot, but I didn't have that thought at all when I was watching the fight.
Yeah,
but the ref was on it though, wasn't he? He was watching it. He was in close enough to see the strike.
Yeah, he stopped it. He stopped the fight. Goes,
there was no controversy during the fight. Just a bit of
just like just all the chatter.
Oh, the keyboard warriors. Okay,
but like Reece McLaren, man, great fighter. It was interesting, right? Usually though, like most of these knockouts, most of his wins are from submissions. So like a really good slick ground game, that one. So hopefully see him back in action pretty soon. Like I think like a lot of these guys, if you have to make the trip over, do you stay there and go, are we doing a few cards here? Or, because I don't want to really go back home to especially Australia and like spend 2 weeks in quarantine.
Yeah.
Though I think maybe I'm guessing one might compensate them as well enough that goes, okay, if you have to do that, if you come out for us to do us a favor, we'll compensate you for that. But especially if you like, in Reece McLaren's kind of situation where you took a win, didn't really get any damage at all. Just go, hey, you got another one? Might as well stay here and bang out another fight or so.
Yeah,
make it worth your while.
Makes sense.
Because it'd be difficult to start. Like obviously, one are now opening the borders. I mean, like one aren't opening the borders, but the borders are open. For one to kind of start inviting internationals in. And like Liam Harrison posted that he's signed a contract.
Nice.
I think Jonathan Haggerty said the same. So obviously they've got some people coming in from the UK, but yeah, it's not really feasible to start doing that in quick succession, like fighting a couple of times in a few months. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if it would be doable for people to make a short-term move to Singapore or somewhere in Asia just for the sake of hanging out a couple. Mm-hmm. Especially the guys coming all the way from the UK, because making a trip from the UK to Asia to fight, and if you've got a quarantine on both sides of it, you'll do that once in a... Like, what's the quickest time frame you could feasibly do that in? Like, you wouldn't really want to do that much more than twice within 6 months, 4 months.
Are they jumping between Bangkok and Singapore, or are they just going to go out of Singapore?
No, they've got like a few locations in Asia on the calendar now. I don't know when they're planning to go back to Bangkok, but a few in Singapore now. Well, they did 2 last night, and they're playing the second one next week. Like, I'm not revealing any secrets. I saw... I had a feeling they were going to do this, but I saw this morning they posted catch the pre-recorded event. Like, so they're not pretending next week's event's live.
Fair enough.
They are doing a pre-recorded one next week.
Okay. Have they announced like what kind of card it is? Sorry.
Yeah, it's a couple of like it's a little bit more local. The next one, like some Muay Thai and kickboxing at the top end, but some smaller names.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good fights.
Keep the ball rolling.
Sagadow's fighting in the semi-main.
Oh,
in a Muay Thai
okay.
fight. Yeah, so
nice. This should be some good action.
Yeah,
that's it. Well, it's good now that they just kind of realised to go, all right, no trying to like pull the wool over someone's eyes because everyone's a little bit too smart for that, obviously.
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll figure it out.
But like in terms of that as well, like borders opening up and where it's like there seems to be like a lot of like chatter going in. Australia at the moment with like supposed shows coming up, like a lot of like Queensland shows. They're already running shows. That's fine. Canberra seems to be doing some stuff.
WA's been for a while now.
Yeah,
WA have had like 2 big shows. I think one sort of more development day one as well.
Yep.
There's another subversive grappling event coming up on 18th of October, I think, as well.
Hey, look, seems like it's all on the right track.
Yeah,
we're getting there. What was I say? And yeah, there was that announcement by like Prince Promotions for that huge for next year. Like they're putting up a huge prize pool for a K1 tournament around 78 kilos.
Yeah, 40k prize pool, 20k for the winner.
That's unheard for.
Where's that being held?
Victoria.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Feels optimistic, but
it does at the moment.
But it's like the same thing. I guess it's that chatter from that. But like
who did you put in there?
Well, obviously like Charlie. He put his hand up, and goes, "Hey, mate."
As you should. Charlie would come in. It'd be difficult to put together a tournament at 78 that Charlie wouldn't be the favourite in.
Mm-hmm. Other than
Who
that,
else do you like
well, I guess like some of the local boys, like you got that Marcus Burke. He's undefeated. It's around about that weight range
Does he
as well.
make that way? Yeah.
Yeah, 71 kilos. I mean, sorry, 78.
Yeah.
I think sometimes he's fought even a little bit low because like he fought Torren.
He did fight Tony. Yeah.
Yeah. Does Torren putting his hat into the ring? You know, the politician.
Yeah, I don't
Does he
know.
mind him
Are
get
you
his
allowed
face
to
fucked
do
up?
both? Yeah, I don't know. If
It's
you're-
no elbows as well. So.
Yeah.
But he's probably just like, I'm just itching.
Yeah.
Just itching to get in there. Other than that, yeah, it's an interesting prospect. And like, I don't like in terms of like, if you're just looking for guys that are just on a K1 side of things.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a funny one to have. I don't know. It's always seems to be the way in kickboxing. Yeah, just big prize pool events come around. But I'm not like, as for guys who actually are kickboxers, not really sure. Like obviously, Charlie is very much can do both. Has been doing both. Yeah. Marcus Burke is predominantly a kickboxer. But from there, like I could fill a bracket, but they're not kickboxers. They're Thai boxers that would hop over. Like David could do it if he was interested. I mean, that's a pretty interesting amount of money.
Hey, it was like, why not?
Yeah, and David could fight K1. Like he's got a pretty aggressive style. He likes to kick the legs. You know, you could send young Cody Jameson down there if you wanted.
Yeah.
You could fill the bracket, and then it starts to go like, because every time you do like a kickboxing event, people just throw elite Muay Thai guys' names in there. Like, you know,
That's it.
you send Toby Smith for a kickboxing tournament. Like,
Does anyone exclusively train K1, or is it always a crossover between that and
some
Muay
people
Thai?
do, yeah. Some people do.
It just seems because like
It's kind of dead. To be
yeah it is a bit like unless you're doing like, you know, Waco tournaments and things like that. Predominantly it's only Melbourne in particular, or Victoria.
Yeah.
That's like that kind of have like just pure K1 tournaments and like, you know, like pretty good prize pools as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, with you got this one by Prince Promotions, that you had the Alpha series by Peter Hatton as well. They're all great fights, but it's most of the time you're finding it like half, 3/4 the bracket are just Muay Thai guys. They just go, mate, this is good money. I'm gonna have a crack.
Yeah.
Still cracker fights though.
And most guys will, like, if you got your head screwed on right, like I don't think you can have this attitude of like anti-kickboxing. Like kickboxing's fine, and if you want big opportunities, you've got to kind of be able to.
Well, it's like you were talking with Kieran before. It's like if you are wanting to go to one from there, you better be able to do both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like you don't get to decide.
Oh, okay.
I forgot that conversation was recorded. I was thinking about. I was just talking to Kieran about this the other day. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, if you want to do, if you want big opportunities and you know, like things pop up, like we were talking about going to Japan to kickbox at the start of the year and stuff like that. Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit there and go, no, I only do fights with elbow. Like, yeah, like we all love Muay Thai, but and it can be fun or interesting. Like, I don't understand being just that.
Well, that's it. Like, you know, because you think about this sport, like, and you get one, but same thing. It's like you're not gonna make a decent living like fighting out of it.
Yeah,
It's like, you know. Use what it is. It's like use experiences. If someone asks you to go to fucking Japan, like you just go. Shit, I'll just go. Yeah, I don't care. What are we doing? Boxing? All right.
If you get me a fight in like Myanmar, fucking I'll throw some headbutts.
Just give it a whack. Yeah, but like, yeah, this sport's like it's too niche, and you're not making enough money to kind of be picky and choosy what you do. But you know what you get? You get a lot of great life experiences and fucking great stories as well. And that's what everyone likes—a good story.
Yeah.
So remember that time where, like Dan Marshall. Remember that time I got kicked in the nuts 7 times by Hinata. Great stories. Another thing I saw, like in Queensland, they're doing that tribute tournament for Andy Bell, wasn't it?
Alan Bell, yeah.
Alan Bell, yep. Alan Bell. From the great initiative, and it's a great idea. It's like just had like the borders are like a bit better on our side of things that we wouldn't mind joining that. That was like if that was on the ticket, but like it's great to see that they're doing something like that as well to honor a great man.
Yeah, like someone who did a lot for the sport.
Oh yeah, he did
his
awesome.
country,
Yeah, it was great. So like so if you are in Queensland, like that Gold Coast area, definitely jump on that, and hopefully if some like us in New South Wales, the border situation would be a bit better, because if it was, I'll definitely look at bringing some guys there.
Yeah, I'm still kind of like, I don't know, semi-optimistic that maybe we could swing like an amateur show, like
Maybe.
like a little amateur show or something. I don't know.
I just kind of think like if Canberra's doing it, and like our numbers are pretty good.
But also, like, if Canberra's doing it, like, can we just all fucking go there?
Yeah, can we just go there? Like, yeah, who's doing shows? Who's doing shows in Canberra?
Let's do let's just put on a show there. Like, let's just all bring all our fighters to Canberra. Like, I'd like to see like I've been saying, obviously I want to fight, but more than that, I just want to see some fights.
Yeah.
I just would love for to be able to put together like a big amateur development day even type thing.
Well, it's
in December.
I think that should do it because like I even saw lately they're taking like registrations for jiu-jitsu comps, like proper comps.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu rows. They're taking registrations now from that one. So like even just like outside the suburban things, they're doing like community shit.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's like
so they're doing local tournaments.
Yeah. Okay. What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, that's just weird to me because there's way more contact in jiu-jitsu than there is Muay Thai.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. We're just going to let competitors, no spectators. Like, there's obviously a lot of things they have to consider. But like, I'm just still saying like, if that's going on, football, soccer, hockey, basketball. If this is all going on, it's like, surely we can do like a show with like that we stay within like the numbers of guidelines that they say. We say this every week though, but fuck, you're gonna. So hopefully someone's listening.
Yeah,
I mean, all my fucking emails come back. What else you got to do?
I'll just say in North America, IBJJF are running some big tournaments and big opens, and I think the Pans are still running this month or next month. They're coming up soon, and I'm like, why are they running these big tournaments in North America where frankly, they're getting smashed by COVID, absolutely fucking devastated by it. So in a country like this where we've got comparatively low numbers, I understand you don't want to be the epicenter of another outbreak, but if you exercise common sense and keep the crowd numbers low and make sure people are practicing all the COVID safe requirements, it's not going to be that risky.
Well, WA, ACT, Queensland, all have done things. Has there any been cases linked to them, to these shows?
No.
It's like, that's all you can go off though.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's nothing. They're doing the right thing. There's no linked cases. So like, in terms of New South Wales, like, I understand for Victoria, but New South Wales, we're pretty much in a really good place with everything. It's like, I think it's about time.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just love some. It's the same thing. I feel like even saying this, I feel bored by it. Like I'm just tired of talking about it. And like, but we would just love to hear some. The problem is not that we're not getting any fights. It's that we're not getting any correspondence.
Yeah, there's no talk.
But this is what there's no roadmap. Like that's what WA did this so well from the start, and it's a bit broader than just for combat sports, like just for everything. When we reach here, we will allow you to do this and this, and they just everyone stuck to their protocol like glue. And then fights came back when they said they were coming back.
Yep.
And it was a long it was like a 3 or 4 month roadmap when it came out. We never had that, and now it's getting to the point where it's October now, and no one's even giving us some word on this is how things will have to look before we start getting to fights. I would love to be able to put on just a big in a gym or something development day amateur type thing and just work corners, and I would give a lot of volunteer time and effort to putting that together if there was some outlet to do it, just because I just want to see, I don't know, I think it would just be a good way to cap the year off, just to feel like
end it on a high note.
Yeah, a good way to just feel like we're actually coming into a normal 2021 is just to feel like, and I know a lot of gyms are like ours. I've seen a lot of people be fucking lazy, but I've seen a lot of guys who maybe weren't serious, who weren't the fighters before this, actually start really putting in some, just using the time, and I've had a little bit more time to help out a little bit more and give some guys a push, and I've had a lot of time to just work on my own shit as well, but it's just now I'm at a point where I would just like to see the sport going again. I'd like to be able to corner some of the guys that want to just get started and help out a little bit. Same thing, I just love the sport. I care more about the sport being around than my own fights. Like, obviously, I want to fight myself, but at this point, like, I'll take working the corner.
It's like, New South Wales, it took a long time for us to kind of build this thing.
Yeah.
And, like, it would be shame that, like, it gets hurt by, like, basically just because there's not much participation within the competitive side of things.
Yeah.
But, like, but I feel at the moment for me is, like, that's not the case from that one. But that, yeah, like you said, just having just that one thing.
Just
like, it was just, like, the injection into
just
it.
Just that light in that. And I think, like, to me, like, I'm so closely in touch with people in the sport. Like, I just have, like, this handful of people that, like, I'm exchanging messages with every day.
Yeah.
And it's just to feel like it was such a routine of, like, once every couple of weeks I went and it was just, like, I don't know, like, the atmosphere at a fight show, it's every single time it's the same. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I just really miss, like, I will be so happy that first day that everyone's kind of just back in the same place. Because, like, how long's it been since we've seen some of these people? Like,
start of the year, really.
Ages and ages. Because, like, I was overseas at the start of the year as well. I haven't seen,
that's right,
like, I haven't seen.
It's pretty much nationals. That's what I remember.
Yeah, so it would have been, like, all the people that I see regularly at shows I haven't seen in 2020.
You were lucky to get back.
So
you were lucky to get back.
A little bit. I came back the week before you had to quarantine.
There you go.
Yeah, but yeah, it's strange that it's been so long since you kind of like crazy just in life. Like, you sort of feel like this year never started.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's fucking October. Like, I really haven't seen a lot of the people in the Muay Thai community in probably a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah, since November, December. Yeah,
December.
probably down to Sydney was the last time we were all under one roof in a very not socially distanced day. Like we've talked about this before. Did we, like, that day was so sick?
It was an awesome day.
Do we get those back? Like,
I don't know. It's just seems like a distant memory.
Yeah, it really does seem like a different life. But yeah, I'll be so happy the first day everyone's just kind of back, and it's been so long since I've seen some of my friends.
Oh, soon.
Yeah, that's what I just feel like. You get that feeling like it's like I don't know, but that's the same thing. Like, I've probably felt this way for the first time in, like, June. I was like, we're starting to move. It's starting to come back, and then, like, you just feel like it just stopped dead so many times now that like, you almost don't want to be optimistic, but I have that same kind of feeling. Like, let's just get something in the works, like something there, and then, like, something really grassroots would be cool. Bunch of guys having their first fight and stuff like that. It's not like, I guess you got to think about what your expectations can be. Like, okay, remember that Jump to Sydney card that was on deck for March?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
the biggest card ever.
Crazy. Okay, we're not going to get that. We're not going to get that done,
back.
Right? Fine.
Yeah.
But let's just get something grassroots, something fun. Just for the new guys.
Yep.
And let's all get back in the corners and get back to talking shit at the fight.
Bring me back.
You just live for that. Like, makes me think, like, what the fuck have I even been doing this whole time?
I can't wait till the day where just, you get to that point, you go, oh, you remember that 8 months or so that it was like, it was really shit. I just can't wait to that point where it's just a distant memory. We can laugh about it.
Remember 2020? Let's not remember it anymore.
Just might just scratch it out. All right, let's end that one there. So, because we're doubling up. So, next episode, we're going to be talking from Darius from WA, who promotes the Muay Thai Grand Prix Australia card. So we'll be talking to him about officiating, about the awesome card he's got lined up in WA, you lucky bastards. All right. And we'll catch you next time. So remember always to share out the episodes to all your friends if you like it. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. All right, guys. So catch you next time.
See ya.
Us.